Yesterday, the Washington Post reported that Pete Hegseth plans to look for significant cuts in the Pentagon budget. That was inevitable, and it's a good idea, right? You shouldn't, as Newt Gingrich said, you don't want to be a cheap hawk. You want to protect America, but the best way to protect America is to spend our defense dollars wisely. So that's a good sign. But it will divide the party because there's some Republicans who just say no, no, not a dollar should come out of the Pentagon budget. And then the other thing is Trump took off the table again for now. Again, he can change his mind. Medicaid cuts
No, no,
of
no,
any
no.
sort.
See, again, that's
Yes, I
and then he
know. I
walked it
understand.
back.
He walked it back, and he could just mean I won't do any damage to the actual program.
Right.
You can find savings. I understand, but it seems to me the party is going to have to come to terms with all this because there's not going to be enough deficit reduction for people who want a lot of deficit reduction because they aren't going to deal with the entitlement programs in a serious way. All
Yeah,
right.
see,
and can
Mark,
I
I'm
just
of the
add
mind,
to sorry.
just to be clear,
Go
I'm
ahead.
of the mind that this is a setup, meaning in a good way, meaning that they've come to him and said, let's just take raw numbers. There's $100 in Medicare and Medicaid. We think we can get $30 of savings. There's at least 15 of waste, but we can tinker with these other formulas to get to the 30, but we're going to call it waste, fraud, and abuse and inefficiencies. So they're giving themselves cover to do what they need to do. I believe that they will go in and make some reforms and call them that
Oh,
to
folks,
find.
folks, I never read the chat, but I just noticed somebody wrote eyes glazing over. Sean just said one of the most important things ever
I was
said on this
just
program. If you didn't hear it, you hit rewind.
and
Sean,
and
Sean,
and
Sean just
yeah,
decoded what's going to happen. Thank you,
and I
Sean.
think here's why that's important. When you get rid of condoms, $40 million of condoms from Mozambique, bunch of men in Mozambique and women suffer the consequences, right? When you take what's 8% of the military budget, which is about $900 billion a year, reportedly, we don't know what part of it is, right? You're talking about $100 billion. Two biggest military bases, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, swing state. Number 4, Fort Benning in Georgia. You're going to start touching real people in real communities. They are talking about Medicaid and Medicare, right? As the Trump base becomes more of a working class base, Medicaid's a big damn deal to people. It is not insignificant that Josh Hawley of Missouri, a lot of Medicaid recipients, came out and said, we should not do this. Chuck Grassley of Iowa, a state with a lot of Medicaid recipients and also Medicare, a lot of older people there, said, we shouldn't be doing this. The problem becomes you're attempting to do this to pay for tax cuts. So for Democrats, this is the first set of openings. Independents are not happy that you're not focused. You're now starting to talk about real programs that are going to hit real people, and it's going to hit part of the Trump base and the Trump coalition, and this is an opening.
And
So
to
I
go,
would just two things on this. First, I want to compliment Dan on the proper use of Fort Benning and Fort Bragg. Thank you. Secondly, I will just say this: anybody who has served in the military will never say. I mean, like the amount of waste is unreal.
Oh, I agree.
So there's a difference between hitting bone, hitting weapon systems, munitions, things like that. I mean, in fact, that's probably the biggest problem is that the priorities are backwards. That
Correct.
when it comes
But
to
Trump said we're not going to touch the nuclear arsenal. We're not going to touch drones. We're not going to touch new weapons. I mean, again,
great.
he's taken off the table.
Plenty to do.